Hello and welcome everybody to another episode of Books and Bytes. Today, we're going to be diving deep into Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire.
Oh, yeah.
The fourth book in J.K. Rowling's incredible series.
Absolutely.
So
Yeah.
buckle up, because this one takes a turn toward a much darker and more intense path.
It does.
You know,
Yeah.
it's
For sure.
a bit of a change of pace.
It is. Goblet of Fire marks a real turning point for the series as a whole.
Yeah, it really does.
It's a coming-of-age story for Harry, but it's also where the wizarding world has to face the reality of Voldemort's return.
Right.
It's a bit like stepping out of the sunshine and into a gathering storm.
Yeah, I like that analogy.
Great.
You know, even though this book is packed with action,
It is.
a thrilling magical tournament, dangerous creatures, and Voldemort's terrifying return,
Yes.
it also tackles some really complex themes.
Absolutely.
We see prejudice bubbling beneath the surface,
That's right.
the power and fragility of friendships, the devastating consequences of betrayal,
Yeah.
and of course the epic battle between good and evil.
That's right.
So
Yeah.
it's
packed.
It is. It's a rich text.
Full of so much,
Yeah.
stuff to really dive into.
Absolutely. One of the things that makes Goblet of Fire so compelling is how Rowling weaves those themes
Oh, yeah.
seamlessly into the narrative.
It's so true.
They're not just abstract ideas. They're woven into the characters' choices, the relationships, the very fabric of the wizarding world itself.
Yeah, we really see the characters starting to grapple with, the real-world consequences of these bigger concepts.
Absolutely.
Okay, let's start at the very beginning.
Okay.
The book opens with a murder, right?
Mm-hmm.
The Riddle family found dead in their home.
Yeah.
The Riddle house.
It's a chilling start that sets the stage for the darker tone of the book.
Absolutely.
I remember reading it for the first time and thinking, okay, this is different.
It is different
Than the previous books.
Yeah.
It was really interesting how Rowling uses this seemingly mundane murder to introduce the theme of prejudice.
Right.
I mean, a murder's never mundane.
It's not. No, it's horrific, but
in the context of, the larger story, it's interesting how it's kind of like just this little piece.
Well, I think it's interesting, too, how the villagers immediately suspect Frank Bryce, the gardener, simply because he's an outsider.
Yeah.
They jump to conclusions based on fear and assumptions, and that pattern we see repeated throughout the book, even in the wizarding world.
So true.
Right.
It's like that. It's kind of like that underlying current of
that runs through both the wizarding and Muggle world.
And this murder, which seems like a standalone mystery at first, ends up being deeply connected to Voldemort's past.
That's right.
Is a really clever way to foreshadow the larger conflict, while simultaneously exploring how prejudice can blind people to the truth. And speaking of connections to Voldemort, we see Harry's scar hurting again.
That's right.
This physical manifestation of Voldemort's growing power.
Yeah.
And a constant reminder of the danger that lurks beneath the surface. It's a brilliant way to keep the reader on edge.
It is. It's brilliant.
Knowing that something ominous is brewing.
Yeah, like a constant tension, a constant reminder that things are not okay. And they're going to get worse.
Meanwhile, we get a glimpse into Harry's life with the Dursleys.
Oh, yeah.
Which is anything but magical.
Right.
And then there's the Weasley family's hilarious visit.
Yeah.
Complete with exploding toffee and a glimpse into the chaotic but loving world that Harry longs for.
Absolutely. We've got the Ton-Tung Toffee incident, Dudley blowing up like a balloon.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Right.
Yeah.
All sorts of mayhem.
I love the Weasleys.
Yeah, they're great.
They're so great.
They are.
It's such a stark contrast, right?
It is.
Between the Dursleys' stifling, mundane world and the Weasleys' warm, chaotic magic.
Right.
It highlights the importance of family, not just in the biological sense, but in the sense of finding people who accept and love you for who you are.
Exactly. The Weasleys are Harry's true family.
Yeah.
The ones who understand his magic and celebrate his uniqueness.
I think that's one of the things that I love about the series is that, it really emphasizes that family is what you choose it to be.
That's right.
And then we're off to the Quidditch World Cup.
Yeah.
an event meant to showcase the unity and joy of the wizarding world.
Yes.
Such a spectacle of magic and excitement, but even that joyous occasion is overshadowed by a chilling reminder of Voldemort's presence.
Yeah.
So it's like...
It's almost like a false sense of security.
Yeah.
Like things seem okay, we're having a good time.
Yeah.
But there's this underlying tension, this lurking darkness that is about to erupt.
Yeah, and it kind of bursts that bubble of,
safety and...
Yeah, security.
Right.
And that appearance of the Dark Mark.
Right.
Voldemort's symbol casts a shadow over the entire event.
Yeah.
It's a stark reminder that evil can penetrate even the most secure places, and that the threat of Voldemort's return is very real.
That's right.
The Ministry of Magic's response, or lack thereof, also highlights their denial.
Yeah.
And their inability to face the truth about the growing danger.
That's right. They're turning a blind eye to a very real and present threat.
I mean, they just want to pretend everything's fine.
Right.
Right? And it's
like sweeping it under the rug.
Not going to work.
No.
Yeah. So we arrive at Hogwarts.
Yes.
And this year, it's hosting the Triwizard Tournament.
That's right. Big event.
We're introduced to these two other magical schools, Beauxbatons and Durmstrang.
Yeah.
Each bringing their own unique flair and a sense of international competition. We have the flying horses and the giant carriage.
Yeah, the spectacle.
Yeah, the spectacle of it all. It's all very exciting. Until Harry's name mysteriously emerges from the Goblet of Fire.
Right. Big problem.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, talk about a way to kick off the drama.
Right. So the Goblet of Fire is supposed to choose champions who are of age.
Right.
And Harry is clearly underage.
Yeah, way underage.
Right. And so this immediately raises suspicions that someone is manipulating the tournament.
Yeah.
Putting Harry in danger for reasons unknown.
Yeah.
It's a brilliant plot device that sets the stage for the mystery and suspense that unfolds throughout the book.
It's like you're immediately like, who put his name in?
Yeah.
Who's doing that?
Yeah, what's going on here?
Yeah, what's going on? And then let's not forget the new Defense Against the Dark Arts teacher, Mad-Eye Moody.
Oh, yeah, Mad.
He's this gruff, paranoid Auror who seems to be constantly looking over his shoulder, warning the students about vigilance and hidden dangers.
Yeah.
His presence adds another layer of tension and intrigue to the story.
Absolutely.
Like, is he just being cautious, or is something really...
Right. Is he paranoid or is he perceptive?
Yeah. Is he paranoid or is he perceptive?
Yeah.
And,
Yeah, and as we find out.
Right.
We find
his paranoia is not entirely misplaced, but his constant warnings also highlight the theme of mistrust.
Yeah.
And the difficulty of discerning truth from illusion.
Yeah, so true.
Something that becomes increasingly important as the story progresses.
Yeah, because you really start to question, like...
what's real and what's not.
Exactly. Who can you trust?
Who can you trust?
What's really going on here?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's dive into the tournament itself.
All right.
The first task is a terrifying showdown with dragons.
Oh, yeah.
Harry, using his exceptional flying skills and a bit of quick thinking, manages to outwit the Hungarian horntail and retrieve the golden egg.
He does.
I mean, talk about trial by fire.
Yeah.
What I find fascinating about this task is that it forces Harry to rely on his instincts and his natural talents.
Yeah. He doesn't have time to overthink or plan meticulously.
Right.
He has to react in the moment.
Yeah.
And it's in those moments of instinctive action that we see his true character emerge.
Yeah.
His courage, his resourcefulness, his determination to survive.
And it also shows that, like, he's not just book smart.
Right.
He's actually...
yeah, he's got practical skills.
Got practical skills.
Yeah.
And he can think on his feet.
Yeah, he's adaptable.
Resourceful.
The second task takes us to the depths of the Black Lake.
Right.
Harry has to rescue Ron and the other hostages from the Mru people.
Yeah.
Using gillyweed to breathe underwater.
Yeah, that gillyweed comes in handy.
Right.
It does.
It's a strange and beautiful scene.
Yeah.
That reveals more about the magical creatures that inhabit the lake.
Yeah.
And the hidden depths of the wizarding world.
Absolutely.
It's like a whole other world under there.
Right.
The second task is all about compassion and empathy.
It is.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Harry could have easily rescued Ron and left the others.
He could have.
Right, securing his place in the tournament.
Yeah.
But he chooses to save everyone.
Yeah.
even those who are not his closest friends.
Yeah, he goes above and beyond.
Yeah,
Right
it's
there.
a moment that highlights his growing sense of responsibility
Mm-hmm.
and his commitment to doing what's right, even at his own expense.
Absolutely.
He's not thinking about himself. He's thinking about
He's thinking about the others.
everybody.
Yeah, he's thinking about the greater good.
Yeah.
Which is,
yeah,
an important quality for a hero.
it is.
Right.
And throughout all this, Harry's scar keeps throbbing,
Yeah.
reminding us of the connection
Right.
between Harry and Voldemort.
Yeah.
It's like a barometer of danger increasing in intensity as Voldemort's power grows.
Exactly. Yeah, it's like a physical manifestation of that connection
Yeah.
and that growing threat.
Like the reader can feel it too,
Yeah.
right along with Harry.
Yeah, you're right there with him.
That scar is a constant reminder
It is.
that Harry is not just a normal boy participating in a school tournament.
Right, he's got this destiny
Yeah.
he's carrying.
He's carrying a burden.
A burden that's intertwined with Voldemort's fate.
Yeah, and that connection, as we see throughout the book,
Mm-hmm.
is both a source of strength and a source of immense vulnerability.
Exactly.
It's like a double-edged sword.
It is. It gives him power, but it also makes him a target.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Then we come to the third task, the maze.
Oh, yeah, the maze.
The champions have to navigate this treacherous labyrinth
Yeah.
filled with all sorts of magical creatures and obstacles.
Yeah, all sorts of dangers.
Yeah,
Right.
a test of their skills,
Yeah.
their resilience,
Mm-hmm.
and their ability to make difficult choices under pressure.
Right, because every decision has consequences.
Yeah.
Right?
So, like, the pressure's on.
The pressure's on, yeah.
Yeah.
You got to think fast.
The maze is a brilliant metaphor
It is.
for the challenges and choices Harry faces in his life.
Right. Each path represents a different possibility.
Yeah.
And every decision has consequences.
Yeah.
So it's a really great way of kind of externalizing those internal struggles.
Yeah, I mean, it's like
Yeah.
life isn't always a straight path.
Right.
Right.
It's full of twists and turns.
There are all these different
Mm.
paths that you could take.
Yeah, and you don't always know
And you don't know which one's the right one.
which one's the right one.
Yeah.
And sometimes you make a wrong turn,
Yeah.
and you have to figure out how to get back on track.
It's a test of his judgment,
It is.
his resourcefulness,
Uh-huh.
and his ability to overcome fear and temptation.
Right, because there are temptations along the way.
Yeah. Right.
To reach his goal.
There are shortcuts.
Yeah,
There are distractions.
there are.
Yeah. And he has to stay focused on what he needs to do.
And here's where things take a really dark turn.
Yeah.
Harry and Cedric, showing a remarkable display of sportsmanship,
Right.
reach the Triwizard Cup together.
Yeah.
They think they've won,
Yeah.
but the cup is a portkey.
Uh-huh. It's a part.
It transports them to a graveyard.
To a graveyard, yeah. Not where you want to end up.
That's not where you want to be celebrating your victory.
Not at all.
And that's where the real horror begins.
That's where the real horror begins.
I mean, it's like, you think they're safe.
right.
They've completed the task.
They've won. They've won.
Right.
And then bam.
Yeah, you're in a graveyard.
They're in a graveyard
Yeah.
with Lord Voldemort.
Yeah, things are not looking good.
The graveyard scene is a pivotal moment
It is.
in the book.
Yeah.
It marks the end of Harry's innocence
Right, the end of childhood.
and the beginning of a much darker chapter in his life.
Yeah, he witnesses something truly horrific.
Yeah, he witnesses the cold-blooded murder of Cedric,
Yeah.
a truly innocent victim.
A truly innocent victim caught in Voldemort's web of manipulation.
Yeah, he's just,
Yeah,
in the wrong place at the wrong time.
that's right.
It's a shattering experience
It is.
that forces Harry to confront the true cost of his destiny.
Yeah, he can't escape it anymore.
Yeah, there's no more
Yeah.
shielding him from it.
Yeah, it's right there in his face.
And then, of course, the unthinkable happens.
Yeah,
Voldemort, in all his terrifying glory, is reborn.
that's right.
The ritual is described in chilling detail.
It is.
A grotesque mockery of life.
Yeah.
And a testament to the depths of Voldemort's depravity.
Right. He's willing to do anything
Yeah.
to achieve his goals.
This scene really underscores the shift
It does.
to a darker tone
Yeah.
in the book.
There's no escaping the reality of evil anymore.
Yeah, it's like all that
Yeah.
like underlying tension
It all comes to the surface.
comes to the surface,
Yeah.
explodes.
And the way Rowling describes the reactions of Voldemort's followers, the Death Eaters, is equally chilling.
Yep.
They're a mix of fanatics,
Right.
opportunists, and those bound to him through fear and coercion.
Yeah.
You know, it's a stark reminder that evil rarely operates in isolation.
It doesn't. It thrives on the support,
Yeah.
whether willing or coerced,
Right.
of those who are drawn to its power.
Yeah. And it's like that kind of makes it even more insidious.
It does.
Right.
Because it's not just one person.
Yeah.
It's a network.
It's a whole
network of evil.
Yeah.
It's a system. But even in this moment of utter darkness, there's a flicker of hope.
There is.
You know, when Harry's wand connects with Voldemort's,
Right.
we see the echoes of Voldemort's victims,
Yeah.
including Harry's parents.
That's right. Yeah.
It's a powerful and poignant moment,
It is.
you know, and it foreshadows the role that love and sacrifice will play in the series.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
It's like, even though they're gone,
Yeah.
their love is still protecting him.
It is. It's a very powerful scene.
That's the priori incantatem effect,
Uh-huh.
a rare magical phenomenon.
It is. It doesn't happen very often,
Yeah.
so it's especially significant when it does.
That reveals a connection between wands
Yes.
that have shared a core.
Yeah. So in this case, Harry's wand and Voldemort's wand both have a feather from the same phoenix.
Right.
Fox, Dumbledore's phoenix.
It's a reminder that even in death, the love and sacrifices of those who came before can have a lasting impact.
That's right. Their love echoes
Yeah.
through time.
It also provides a glimpse into Voldemort's past,
Yeah.
reminding us that he's not just an embodiment of evil,
Right.
but a complex figure.
He's a human being who made choices
shaped by choices and experiences.
that led him down a dark path.
Yeah, and it's like we see that throughout the series.
Yeah, we get glimpses of his past.
Like little hints of like how he became.
Yeah, how he became who he is.
A person he is.
Right. What happened to him?
Yeah, what were those formative experiences that kind of led him down this path?
Yeah, because nobody's born evil.
Right.
Right.
Harry manages to escape.
Yeah, he does.
Thanks in part to the unexpected help from the spirits of his parents.
Yeah.
And he returns to Hogwarts.
Back to Hogwarts.
But back in the supposed safety of the castle.
Yeah.
He faces another kind of darkness.
Right.
The Ministry of Magic's denial.
Oh, yeah. The Ministry is not ready to face reality.
They're in major denial.
They are.
The Ministry's refusal to believe Voldemort has returned, despite the evidence, is a classic example of how institutions can prioritize self-preservation and the maintenance of order over truth and justice.
Yeah, they'd rather keep things the way they are.
Yeah, they don't want to rock the boat.
Even if it means ignoring a very real danger.
Yeah, they don't want to cause chaos and panic.
Right.
It's a parallel to real-world situations.
It is.
You know, where those in power deny inconvenient truths to maintain their control.
Absolutely.
It's so frustrating to watch them dismiss Harry's first-hand account.
Yeah.
Especially when Dumbledore, the wisest wizard of them all, is urging them to take action.
Yeah.
What do you think motivated their denial? Were they truly blind, or was it something more calculated?
That's a great question.
I mean, I think we see that in real life, too.
Absolutely.
Where people in power are just like,
I
don't want to deal with this. This is inconvenient.
This is going to disrupt my power structure.
Yeah.
Right.
I think it's a combination of factors.
Yeah.
There's certainly an element of fear.
Yeah.
A reluctance to believe that the peace and stability they fought so hard to maintain are now shattered.
Right. It's easier to pretend that everything's okay.
It's like that whole, ignorance is bliss.
Ignorance is bliss kind of thing. Yeah. But there's also a degree of political maneuvering.
Yeah.
Right.
Like they're worried about how they're going to look.
How they're going to... If they admit they were wrong.
Yeah.
If they admit that they failed.
Yeah.
Right.
Acknowledging Voldemort's return would mean acknowledging their own failure to protect the wizarding world.
Right.
And that's a truth that many in power are simply not willing to face.
Yeah. They'd rather save face than save lives.
It's a reminder that even in a world of magic, the pursuit of power and the desire to maintain control can corrupt even the most well-intentioned individuals.
Power corrupts. That's an age-old saying.
Yeah.
And it's true.
And his story highlights the dangers of a justice system that prioritizes order and control over fairness and compassion.
Right. It's a very rigid, inflexible system that doesn't allow for nuance.
Yeah, and doesn't really...
Or second chances.
Take into account, individual circumstances.
Individual circumstance.
It's a theme that resonates with real-world situations.
It does.
You know, where individuals are denied their rights or subjected to unjust treatment in the name of national security or The preservation of order?
Absolutely. We see that all the time.
Then there's Rita Skeeter.
Oh, Rita Skeeter.
The gossipy reporter who seems to make everyone's life a misery with her sensationalized stories.
Yeah.
And her knack for sniffing out scandal.
She was a piece of work.
What do you make of her character?
Oh, she's a great character.
I mean...
She is. She's so well written.
She's so annoying.
She is.
But she's also kind of like entertaining.
She's entertaining, yeah. She's like a caricature.
Yeah, of like the worst kind of...
The worst kind of journalist.
Yeah.
Like the tabloid journalist.
A tabloid journalist who will do anything.
Yeah.
To get a story.
To get the scoop.
Yeah.
Rita Skeeter is a brilliant satirical portrayal of the worst aspects of journalism.
Yeah.
You know, the obsession with gossip, the willingness to twist the truth for a good story, and the disregard for the privacy and well-being of others.
That's right. She doesn't care who she hurts.
She's a reminder that words can be weapons.
Yeah.
And that information, even when it's presented as entertainment, can have a devastating impact on people's lives.
Absolutely. She's all about sensationalism.
Yeah.
Right.
Not about the truth.
Not about the truth.
And it's revealed that she's an unregistered animagus.
Oh, yeah. She's a beetle.
Able to transform into a beetle to spy on people.
Right. That's how she gets all her scoops.
And gather her juicy gossip.
Yeah, she's literally a bug. Yeah, it's so creepy.
It is.
That detail adds a layer of humor and absurdity to her character.
It does.
But it also underscores the insidious nature of her actions.
Right. She's violating people's privacy.
Yeah.
In a very literal way.
Yeah. She's literally like sneaking around like a little bug.
Yeah.
Okay, let's dive into some of the other themes that run throughout the book.
Yeah.
One that really stands out is the coming-of-age element. You know, Harry at 14 is facing challenges that most adults would struggle to cope with.
Yeah, he's dealing with a lot.
Yeah, he's dealing with grief, loss,
fear,
and the immense pressure of a prophecy that ties his fate to Voldemort's.
Right. It's a lot for a 14-year-old to handle.
It is. It's a brutal, accelerated coming-of-age story.
Yeah.
Harry's forced to confront the realities of a world where death is a constant threat.
Yeah.
Betrayal is a possibility.
Right.
Even among those he trusts.
Yeah, and his own choices have far-reaching consequences.
He's no longer a child living in a relatively safe bubble of Hogwarts.
Right, he's out in the real world.
Yeah.
Where the stakes are much higher.
He's stepping into a world where the stakes are incredibly high.
Uh-huh.
And he's forced to grow up very quickly.
Yeah, he has to learn fast.
Yeah.
Or he's not going to survive.
It's a reminder that sometimes life doesn't afford us the luxury of a gradual transition to adulthood.
Right.
Sometimes we're thrown into situations that demand more from us than we think we're capable of giving.
Yeah.
And it's in those moments that we discover our true strength and resilience.
Absolutely. Sometimes you have to rise to the occasion.
Yeah.
Even if you don't feel ready.
And while Harry is the central figure in this coming-of-age narrative, we also see it reflected in the other characters as well.
Yeah. Ron and Hermione are also growing and changing. Yeah. They're facing their own challenges, their own insecurities.
They're not immune?
They're not. Nobody is. You know, everybody goes through it.
The pressures of growing up, Ron and Hermione are grappling with their own insecurities. They're changing relationships with each other.
Right.
And the dawning realization that the world is a more complex and dangerous place than they thought.
Yeah. Their worldview is expanding.
Yeah.
And it's not always a comfortable process.
Their friendship is tested in this book.
It is.
Especially as Ron struggles with jealousy and insecurity over Harry's fame and his attention from others.
Right. He's in Harry's shadow and he's trying to figure out who he is.
Who he is outside of that.
Right.
But ultimately, their bond proves to be resilient.
It does, yeah.
You know, they learn to support each other through their individual challenges and to appreciate the unique strengths each brings to their friendship.
Yeah, that's what makes a good friendship.
It is.
Right.
It's a reminder that even the strongest friendships evolve and change as we grow older.
That's right. They're not static. They're dynamic.
We learn to navigate conflict, to communicate our needs and insecurities.
Right. And to be honest with each other.
And to appreciate the differences that make our friendships unique and valuable.
Absolutely, because those differences are what make them strong.
Yeah, it's like that whole you know.
The sum is greater.
The sum is greater than its parts.
Than the parts, yeah.
Another theme that's woven throughout the book is the struggle between good and evil. And it's not always a clear-cut battle.
It's not. It's much more nuanced.
Yeah.
Than that.
We see characters like Crouch Sr.
Right.
Who believes he's doing the right thing.
Yeah, but his methods are questionable.
but ends up perpetrating injustice.
Right.
And then there's Snape,
Ooh.
shrouded in ambiguity.
Yeah.
Whose motives remain a mystery.
Yeah, he's always a mystery.
For much of the book.
Yeah. You never know.
You never know where he stands.
Where his loyalties lie.
Yeah. That ambiguity is what makes the series so compelling.
It does.
Right?
Yeah.
It challenges us to question our assumptions. To consider multiple perspectives.
Yeah.
And to recognize that even in a world of magic, the lines between good and evil can be blurred.
It's not always black and white.
Yeah.
It's more like shades of gray.
And then, of course, there's the power of love.
Oh, yeah. Love is a big theme.
It's a theme that runs through the entire series. But it's especially prominent in Goblet of Fire.
It is.
We see it in the sacrifices that characters make for each other.
Yeah.
The bonds that connect them. And the unwavering belief in the power of love to overcome even the darkest of magic.
Right. Love is the most powerful magic of all.
Yeah, it really is. Like,
it is.
You know, it's that ultimate force
that
can conquer all.
Yeah. And it's something that Voldemort doesn't understand.
No.
He doesn't understand the power of love.
And that's ultimately his downfall.
That's right. He underestimates it.
Love is presented as a force that can defy death.
Yeah.
Inspire courage. And ultimately triumph over evil.
Yeah.
You know, it's what protects Harry from Voldemort's attacks. It's what fuels his determination to fight for his friends and for the wizarding world.
Yeah.
And it's what ultimately gives him the strength to face the challenges that lie ahead.
It's his superpower.
It is.
Yeah.
Do you have any favorite quotes from Goblet of Fire?
Oh, let me think.
That highlight the power of love?
Yeah.
Any of the other things we've discussed?
So many good ones to choose from.
Yeah.
There's one that always resonates with me.
Okay.
We must try not to sink beneath our anguish, Harry, but battle against it. It's spoken by Dumbledore.
Yeah.
And it captures the essence of resilience, the ability to find hope and strength.
Yeah.
Even in the face of immense loss and suffering.
Yeah, like even when you're feeling like, you know.
When you're at your lowest point.
Yeah.
You still have the power
to choose
to fight back.
Yeah.
To choose to keep going.
To choose hope.
Yeah.
It's a reminder that even in the darkest of times, we have a choice.
We do.
We can choose to succumb to despair, or we can choose to fight to find the light within ourselves and to keep moving forward.
Yeah, and that's a powerful message.
It is.
I think especially for young people who are going through difficult times.
Yeah, because it's so easy to just kind of give in to the darkness.
It is. It's easy to feel overwhelmed.
Yeah.
But you always have a choice.
Yeah.
You always have the power to choose hope.
And that choice, that decision to battle against the darkness is what defines true courage.
That's right. It's not about being fearless.
Yeah.
It's about acknowledging your fears and finding the strength to overcome them.
And that's something that Harry really embodies.
He does. He's a very brave character.
Throughout the series, right?
He's constantly facing his fears.
He's constantly facing.
Yeah, and he doesn't always want to.
No?
But he does it anyway.
He does it anyway.
Yeah, because he knows it's the right thing to do.
So Goblet of Fire is a book that explores really complex themes of prejudice, justice, betrayal, love, and the coming of age.
Yeah.
But it also doesn't shy away from the thrilling action and suspense.
No, it's a real page-turner.
That make the series so captivating.
Yeah, it's got a little bit of everything.
We have dragons. More people, a dangerous tournament, and Voldemort's terrifying return. It's a wild ride.
It is a wild ride.
It's a masterful blend of action-adventure and profound thematic exploration.
It is. Rowling manages to keep us on the edge of our seats.
Yeah.
While simultaneously challenging us to think critically about the world around us and our own place in it.
Yeah, it's like she manages to like pack so much into one story.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
It is. She's a very talented writer.
The book ends with a sense of foreboding. You know, a knowledge that the war against Voldemort has truly begun.
Yeah, the stakes have been raised.
Yeah.
Things are never going to be the same.
The Ministry is still in denial.
Right.
The wizarding world is divided. And Harry is left to grapple with the trauma of what he's witnessed and the weight of the prophecy that binds him to Voldemort.
Yeah, it's a lot for a 14-year-old to carry.
It is.
Right.
It's a heavy burden.
Right.
But it's also a testament to Harry's character.
Yeah.
That he doesn't crumble under the pressure.
Right. He's resilient. It keeps going.
He finds strength in his friendships.
Yeah.
In the love of those who care about him.
Uh-huh.
And in his own unwavering belief in the power of good.
Yeah.
To triumph over evil.
He's a good example for us all.
And that belief, that hope for a brighter future, is what carries him forward into the next chapter of his story and the escalating conflict that awaits.
Yeah, he's ready for the fight.
Yeah, he's ready. Yeah, he is, Goblet of Fire is definitely a book that leaves a lasting impression.
It does.
And it's clear that this is where the series takes a more serious turn.
Yeah.
There's a sense of urgency and impending doom that wasn't as palpable in the earlier books.
You're right. You can feel the shift in tone throughout the book.
Yeah.
Even in seemingly lighthearted moments, there's this underlying tension.
Yeah.
A knowledge that darkness is encroaching and that innocence can't be preserved forever.
Yeah, it's like the stakes are getting higher.
Yeah.
And the characters are having to grow up and face some really difficult truths.
Absolutely.
And that's reflected in Harry's journey as well.
Yeah.
He's not just facing external threats like dragons and Voldemort. He's also confronting his own internal struggles.
Yeah.
With grief, anger, and the growing realization that the world is a far more complicated place than he once believed.
Absolutely. Harry's coming-of-age story in Goblet of Fire is as much about internal growth as it is about external challenges. He's learning to navigate complex emotions, to question authority, to make difficult choices, and to accept the responsibility that comes with his unique destiny.
Yeah, he's really coming into his own.
He is.
It's interesting how the Triwizard Tournament itself serves as a microcosm of those challenges.
Yeah.
Each task is not just a test of magical skill, but a test of character.
Right.
Forcing Harry to confront his fears, his vulnerabilities, and his own moral compass.
Absolutely. The tournament is a brilliant plot device because it allows Rowling to explore those themes. Of self-discovery, courage, and moral choice. In a really dynamic and engaging way.
Yeah, it's like each task is like a mini arc.
Yeah.
In his overall journey.
Yeah, it's not just a series of magical challenges, it's a journey of self-discovery for Harry. And it's through those challenges that he discovers who he truly is and what he's capable of becoming.
And it's not just Harry who's going through this transformation.
Right.
We see it in Ron and Hermione as well. Their friendship is tested.
Yeah.
Their loyalties are challenged. And they're forced to confront their own prejudices and insecurities.
Right. They're not perfect.
Yeah.
They make mistakes.
They're teenagers.
Yeah.
It's a reminder that growth and change are rarely easy or comfortable.
Absolutely.
We all make mistakes.
Yeah.
We all struggle with our own internal demons. And we all have moments where we question our own beliefs and values.
Yeah, that's part of being human.
But it's through those challenges, those moments of self-doubt and uncertainty, that we ultimately discover who we truly are.
That's right. We learn from our mistakes. And we become stronger because of them.
And Goblet of Fire is a book that doesn't shy away from those difficult questions.
It doesn't.
It challenges us to confront our own biases, to question authority, and to grapple with the complexities of a world where the lines between good and evil are often blurred.
It's not always clear-cut. And sometimes the good guys make bad decisions. And the bad guys have moments of humanity.
It forces us to think critically about the world around us, the choices we make, and the impact we have on others.
Absolutely. It's a book that makes you think.
Yeah.
And it's a book that stays with you.
It's not a simple fairy tale where good always triumphs.
No.
And evil is easily vanquished.
It's much more realistic than that.
It's a nuanced and realistic portrayal of the human condition.
Yeah.
With all its flaws and contradictions.
Absolutely. It's a book that acknowledges the darkness.
Yeah.
But it also celebrates the light.
And yet, despite the darkness and the challenges, Goblet of Fire also offers a message of hope.
It does.
It reminds us that even in the face of adversity, even when the world seems to be falling apart around us, there's still beauty to be found.
Love to be shared, and a fight worth fighting.
That's right. There's always something worth fighting for.
That hope is embodied in Harry's resilience, in the unwavering loyalty of his friends, and in the unwavering belief in the power of good to triumph over evil.
That's right. It's a reminder that even in the darkest of times, there's always a light within us. A spark of hope that can guide us through the shadows.
And speaking of light, one of my favorite aspects of this book is the way Rowling uses light and darkness.
Oh, yeah.
both literally and metaphorically, to create a sense of atmosphere and to highlight the contrasting forces at play.
It's a masterful use of imagery.
Yeah.
Think about the contrast between the brightly lit Great Hall at Hogwarts, a symbol of community and shared purpose, and the dark, shadowy graveyard where Voldemort is reborn.
Yeah.
A place of death and despair.
Or the warm, welcoming glow of the Weasleys' home versus the cold, oppressive darkness of the Dursleys' house. Right, it's like she's painting a picture with words.
Those visual cues help us understand the emotional landscape of the story, the shifting balance of power, and the constant struggle between light and darkness.
Yeah.
That's playing out both within the characters and within the wizarding world itself.
Absolutely. And it's not just visual imagery. Rowling also uses language to create those contrasts, the descriptions of spells, the characters' voices, the very tone of the narration. All shift as we move between moments of joy and sorrow, hope and despair.
It's a masterful example of how a skilled writer can use language to create a truly immersive reading experience. And one that engages all of our senses and draws us deeply into the world of the story.
Absolutely. You're right there with Harry experiencing everything he's experiencing.
And it's that attention to detail, that ability to weave together complex themes, engaging characters, and a compelling narrative that makes Goblet of Fire such a rewarding read.
It is.
You know, it's a book that you can return to again and again, discovering new layers of meaning, new insights, and new connections with each reading.
Absolutely. It's a book that grows with you as you get older.
So as we wrap up our deep dive into this incredible book, what's the one thing you'd like to leave our listeners with?
That's a good question. I think it's the importance of finding our own light within ourselves. The world can be a dark and challenging place, and we all face moments of doubt, fear, and despair. But Goblet of Fire reminds us that we all have the capacity for courage, for compassion, and for love. It's about finding those sparks within ourselves, nurturing them, and using them to illuminate the world around us.
Beautifully said. And I think that's a message that resonates far beyond the world of Harry Potter. It's a message that we all need to hear now more than ever. So as we turn the final page on this deep dive, remember to keep seeking those sparks of light, keep fighting for what you believe in, and keep believing in the magic of possibility. Thanks for joining us on this journey. And we'll see you next time for another deep dive into the world of literature.